Hello geometry students, welcome to our next lesson, lesson 2.2. This lesson is titled Parallel Lines and Angles. Let me quickly remind you before we get started that you need to write down everything I write down. Your notes should look exactly like my notes. Alright, before we talk about some parallel lines, we need to define a couple words. First word we need to define is the word transversal. Transversal. A transversal is a line that intersects two or more other lines. Go ahead and write that down. A line that intersects two or more other lines. All right, to give you an example, if I have two lines, okay, a transversal intersects both of them. So we could have a line just going across like that. Okay, I'm going to call this line A. So I'm going to say that line A is a transversal. Line A is a transversal. All right, if we have lines and a transversal that goes across those two lines, there's several relationships that are created. All right, and when we have a transversal, then we can apply that to parallel lines. The next thing we're going to talk about here on the left side of our page are parallel lines with a transversal. Transversal. All right, so draw two parallel lines. Okay, are my two lines parallel? They look like they're parallel, but we have to mark them parallel. So make sure you put the little markings on there. I could put triangles or just little arrows on there to mark those lines parallel. Okay, transversal would go across them then. Okay, and there's a lot of relationships that's created here with parallel lines and a transversal. All right, there's a lot of relationships that are created here when I have parallel lines cut by a transversal. First off, there are 8 angles created. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And any two of these angles have a relationship. We'll get to that in a second. I first want to kind of identify the regions that I have. Angles 3, 4, 5, and 6 are going to be what I call fall in the interior of this diagram. So this is the interior. All right, angles 1, 2, 7, and 8 fall in the part that we call the exterior. So 1, 2, 7, 8, all this is the exterior. So go ahead and label that we have. Okay, and like I said, these 8 angles all are created by parallel lines of the transversal, and any two of these angles have a relationship. So I want to talk about what those relationships are. Okay, keep that picture there for us to see. The first relationship, or we might have corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Okay, corresponding angles would fall. Let me draw a quick diagram here. Okay, if those are parallel lines, this angle here and this angle here are corresponding angles. Okay, we can take a look, and like if I take these 4 angles and place them directly on top of these 4 angles, these 2 angles will be in the exact same position. So we call that corresponding. This angle corresponds to this angle. The relationship that I have are that when these are parallel lines, these corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, and congruent means equal to. Okay, and then with my corresponding angles there, let me label these. Let me say this is angle 1 and this is angle 2, for example. Since they're congruent, the measure of angle 1 is going to be equal to the measure of angle 2. Okay, make sure you get that. Okay, the next pair I could have alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Okay, see if you could identify a set of alternate interior angles from our diagram up here. They're going to be in the interior, and they're on alternating sides. Alternating sides of what? The transversal. Okay, so let me draw another smaller diagram here just to give us a picture of what it looks like. Okay, alternate interior angles, this one right here, and then this one right here. Let me number those angles just for the sake of reference. This is angle 3, this is angle 4. Okay? Now, alternate interior angles are also congruent. So since they're congruent, I could say that the measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 4. Whatever it is, whether it's an actual degree measure or if it's an algebraic expression, we will see stuff like that. Okay? The next type of angle pair I could have is an alternate exterior angle. Alternate exterior angle. Angles. All right? Draw another quick diagram here. See if you can identify which one would be alternate exterior angles. Again, on the exterior, so let me say this one here, and alternating sides of the transversal, so this one right here. Okay? The alternate exterior angles are also congruent. So if I called this angle number 5 and this angle number 6, I would know the measure of angle 5 is equal to the measure of angle 6. Okay? And then make a little more space here. Okay, next angle relationship I would have is same side interior angles. Same side interior angles. Okay, let me draw a quick diagram again. If these lines are parallel, let me go with a different direction of the transversal. Doesn't matter which direction the transversal goes. Okay, both on the interior, and then this time it's on the same side. So this angle there and this angle there. Okay, let me label these angles as angle 7 and angle 8. All right, take a look at same side interior angles. If they're on the same side of the transversal, they are both on the interior. Do these look congruent? They don't look congruent to me, so these are not congruent, but the relationship that we have here is that these angles are supplementary. Supplementary. Okay, and since they're supplementary, that means that they both add up to equal 180 degrees. So the measure of angle 7 plus the measure of angle 8 is equal to 180 degrees. Again, whatever it is that represents those two angles, they are supplementary. Okay, and there's one more angle pair relationship that we have. Not same side interior angles, but now same side exterior angles. Same side exterior angles. Okay, draw a picture of what it looks like. You draw the parallel lines cut by a transversal, again going any direction a transversal could. Okay, same side exterior. This angle here, it's on the same side of the transversal, but both in the exterior now. Okay, again, are these congruent? They do not look congruent to me. They have the relationship of being supplementary as well. Supplementary. All right, so I'm going to call this angle number 9, this angle number 10, and I can say the measure of angle 9 plus the measure of angle 10 is equal to 180 degrees. That's the definition of a supplementary angles. All right, so notice now that with this, these are all the relationships that I can have with any two angles with transversals. Now these, I can name these things not just with parallel lines. I could also have corresponding alternate interior angles, alternate exterior, same side interior, and same side exterior if they're not parallel, but all of these relationships then would not be true. If the lines are not parallel, then corresponding angles are not congruent, but they are corresponding angles. Okay, the corresponding angles would just be angle 4 and angle 8 up here or something like that. So keep that in mind, that these relationships do not just happen with parallel lines cut by transversal. They can happen with any lines with a transversal.